students, welcome to Abhigyan Academy. Let us discuss some important topics about the British land revenue policies in India. So, as we all know that the British came to India as a trading company, and gradually when they realized the treasuries of India, they converted themselves from a trader to a ruler, and they started ruling India. Whatever their policies were that were implemented in India were all regressive in nature. Okay, so whatever their policies, if you will talk about the political, the economic, or the social, everything was regressive in nature for the people of India. So today we will discuss about the land revenue policies of the British government or the British East India Company in India. And when it comes to the land revenue policies, it means I'm talking about the agriculture sector, which was the base of the economy. Still Indian economy has its base in agriculture. So how much important it was for our sustainable livelihood, our people, for the rural industries. So this agriculture was highly developed, or we were self-sufficient before the coming of the British to India. But the British have brought their own policies. They have introduced their own policies in India in the agriculture sector and the land revenue policies that actually degraded the agriculture sector in India. So we will discuss today some of the land revenue policies of the British that were implemented in India. Now see, if we talk about the land revenue policies, and the first popular land revenue policy of the British in India was the permanent settlement. Okay, it was a permanent settlement system, where you can say this permanent settlement system as zamindari system. Okay, this system can also be said as zamindari system. Why zamindari system? Because this, in this system, who were the important people? The zamindars. Okay, zamindars means the landlords. Okay, who were given the land. Okay, they were given the ownership of the land. So it means this settlement system, this permanent settlement system, was also called as the zamindari system, because zamindars have played an important role in this system. So this system was introduced in which year? Then it is in 1793. In which part of India? Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, Varanasi, and some parts of northern Madras. It means as a whole, if we talk about these policies, then it is in the eastern part of India, where in 1793 the British have introduced the permanent settlement system, where the zamindars have played a very important role. So see, they were recognized as the original or absolute owners of that land. What was their responsibility? Their responsibility was to collect the revenue from the peasants and to pay it to the British. It means they were the mediator in between the peasants and the British powers. They acted as mediator. Then what amount was fixed for the land revenue for the zamindars to be paid to the British? It was a fixed, it was a permanent settlement system. It was a fixed permanent settlement system, means fixed revenue that the zamindars had to collect and had to pay. In case of failure, if they fails to pay the land revenue in that year, then the zamindars, their lands will be taken back by the British power. Okay, they will be seized from their ownership of the land. Okay, so the fixed revenue was 10 by 11. Okay, 10 by 11, among which 1 by 11 will be retained by the zamindar, and remaining 10 by 11 means 10th part will be given to the British power, and in case of failure, then the lands will be seized from the zamindars by the British power. Okay, so this system, that is why it was called as the permanent settlement system or the land revenue system in India. Okay, so now this year was 1793, and one important clause is there, that is called as your sunset clause. So what is the sunset clause? Sunset means was sunset. Okay, sunrise, sunset. It means the day when the land revenue was fixed. So before the sunset, okay, before the sunset, the zamindar have to pay the rents to the British. Okay, so this was called as the what? Sunset clause. Is that on the specified date the zamindar had to pay this land revenue before the setting of the sun, and if they, in case if they fails it to pay, then their lands will be seized by the British people, right? So this was the first and popular permanent settlement system or land revenue system introduced by the British. More or less, it was implemented in the eastern part of India, okay, eastern part of India. Then another land revenue system, that is your Ryotwari system, okay, Ryotwari system. Ryot, R-Y-O-T, okay, R-Y-O-T, Ryot means a peasant or a farmer. Now, in this system, what was happening? Because earlier, what was happening? The zamindari system, mein, the zamindars were getting powerful, so they were misusing their power. Okay, they were misusing their power. They were exploiting the peasants. The poor farmers were exploited. So now that is why, to bring reform in the land revenue policies, the British have introduced another land revenue system that was called as Ryotwari system. And here, Ryot means the peasant. So here, what will happen? There will be no middleman. Okay, like in that case, we have seen that the zamindars were the middlemen. Now, in case of Ryotwari system, there were no middlemen. It means that directly the British will deal with the farmers, with the peasants, with the ryots. That is why this is called as Ryotwari system. It means earlier the ownership of the land was given to the zamindars. Now the ownership of the land is given to the ryot, means to the peasants. Now they are directly responsible for paying the land revenue to the British power. Okay. The same thing is applicable here. If they fails to pay, then they will be seized from their ownership of the land. The same thing is applicable here. See, but the area where this land revenue system was implemented, it was in the southern part of India. Okay, in the southern part of India, Madras, Bombay, parts of Assam also, parts of Kurg provinces also. In this areas, this Ryotwari settlement was implemented by the British, where the British had dealt with directly with the peasants. There were no mediators or middlemen in between. Okay, unlike the zamindari system where rates were permanent, that is why that was called as permanent settlement system. Okay, fixed, the land revenue was fixed, it was not to be changed. But here in this case, like it is said that this land revenue, it was subjected to reassessment. Okay, it was subjected to reassessment. In it means what? Every 20 to 30 years the land revenue will be revised. Okay, every 20 to 30 years the land revenue will be revised in the Ryotwari system, where there is no middleman. And what happens here, the British will be directly dealing with the peasants here. Okay, so here it means the land revenue will be reassessment will be there, and it will be revised. Okay, what is happening here? When the riots, when the peasants were not able to pay the land revenue, their lands were also seized. And in case of non-payment, what they do, this peasants, the poor farmers, they used to approach the local zamindars for the payment, for the money lending. Okay, which becomes an unofficial source of funding for them. But when they approaches the local zamindars or the money lenders, they get the loan. But in collateral, they used to give their land property. The collateral will be their land records. So in that case, their property was seized by the money lenders. Okay, so in this way, they were falling into a debt trap. They were falling into a debt trap. That is why this land revenue policy was also regressive in nature. Okay, one another point I have said here, first implementation initially tested by Alexander. Okay, this practice was actually implemented by Alexander Reed. Later it was properly expanded or properly implemented by Thomas Munro. Okay, in India, I'm talking about in India. Then comes another land revenue system. We have three popular land revenue system policies of British that were implemented in India. We have discussed the permanent settlement system and the Ryotwari system. The third one is your Mahalwari system. Okay, Mahalwari system, which was more popular in North India. Okay, it was more popular in North India and also in some parts of Central India. Mahal means what? If we break the term Mahal means village or group of village. If it is a big village, then it will be a big village under one point. And if it's a small village, then there will be a group of villages. Okay, so Mahalwari system means group of villages or a big village. So this was more popular in northern India, and this was implemented by Holt Mackenzie and later reformed by Lord William Bentinck. Okay, now if we see, this covered the northwestern part of India and some parts of central India. What happens here? Here in this case, the land revenue will be collected by the village headman. Okay, there will be no zamindar, there will be no middleman, but the land revenue will be collected by a village headman who will pay the land revenue to the British. And the village headman who will collect the land revenue will be decided, means will be selected by the villagers themselves. Okay, so here what will happen? There will be no headman, means middleman. The land revenue will be collected by the village headman who will be responsible for collecting the land revenue and for paying the land revenue to the British government. Here also the land revenue was periodically revised based on the Mahal's productive capacity. So here also, like the Rayatwari system, it is not fixed, okay, it was revised periodically according to the capacity, their production capacity. But what happens, this village communities now, they were fragmented, okay, they were fragmented communities. It was not in a single, under a single roof. So that is why this also became difficult for the peasants to pay, because the lands were fragmented. Okay, they were not large scale lands. So that is why this land revenue was also regressive in nature. So in a whole, okay, in a whole assessment, if we see, then we can say that the land revenue policies of the British, that is Zamindari system or Rayatwari system or Mahalwari system, more or less they were regressive in nature. It was not for the development of the peasants as a whole. Okay, it was only for benefiting the British power in India. Okay, only for the benefiting of the British power in India. So that is why if we talk about their land revenue policies, they were not progressive in nature, they were only regressive in nature, right? So that is why this land revenue policies are very, very important. Very, very important, which was creating a discontent among the people against the British. Okay? That we will see in the form of various movements and the struggles. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope this video is helpful for you. If you have any doubt regarding this topic or regarding the admission, feel free to contact us.